and more people under governmental welfare programs, quote unquote, like, and it's not necessarily welfare program, but giving people money, that I don't think the continuation of that is a good thing for you to see, oh, well, my parents got this much money when they had a kid, and so they were able to do this. I didn't for a long time, and I still don't necessarily buy into like the system incentive, like what it would call like the
It's okay. Don't worry about it.
like the welfare moms or whatever, that like people having children to get the money. I for a long time, and I still don't necessarily.
Who's going to take care of all these kids? You
buy that, but
I'm dating myself.
But the bigger that amount grows, the more legitimacy that argument has.
Okay.
Right? When you start giving people large and large and large sums of money, and it's not just once a year you get another $1,000, like that's really kind of
that's
illegitimate. It's very small, especially when you're talking about someone who makes fucking $20,000 a year.
Yeah.
If once a year you get $2,000, I don't really think that's going to be like, oh, I got to have another kid so I can get another $2,000 once a year.
Because
when you're talking about
what's 2,000 divided by 12? Not that much.
But when you're talking about $300 every month or $600 every month if you have 2 children, or now increasing that to maybe $500 a month for this amount of children, for your children under this age, or $300 for this age, and that's a difference. And I'm not saying people are going to continue to pump out children to increase that money, but I don't think it sets a good trend for people to, if that will make the difference, that $300 then they feel comfortable having a baby, but it comes from the government. I don't think that's a good thing. I don't think if they're not ready, they shouldn't be doing it. You know, the population growth concerns me. It really, really concerns me. And maybe that's like a silly thing, but that concerns me. That the chain reaction it could have from the natural progression of population growth from people that are naturally finding their way there to whatever population of people that $300 made the difference for. Now they're like, oh, well, fucking now we can have a kid. That concerns me. Whatever jump that is, that concerns me.
Especially because there's a massive jump in logic.
There's already too many people. There's already too many people. We are running into different issues. Fucking the housing market. I can't buy a house now. And it's not because I don't have enough money. It's because the corporatists are fucking me out of being able to buy a house.
Yeah.
It's not because I don't make enough money. There's no reason I shouldn't be able to buy a house with the amount of money that I make. There's no reason. Absolutely no reason. Other than involvement from hedge funds and corporations into the financial structure of fucking real estate
and government.
And the government's okay in it. The government,
they do is make it worse.
Of it. Yeah, I don't care. That's fine.
They are more costly than the corporate involvement.
Yeah,
we'll put it that way. So this is perfect. That means that I've got you exactly where I wanted you as far as segueing.
Let's do it.
You are in the right frame of mind for me to ask you this. Given that entire concept of what you were talking about regarding your feelings and your passions around the child tax credit and people's reliance on it, which makes it then the relationship then from the government. It's been a long time since we talked about it, essentially since the last presidential primaries from the Democrats. Universal basic income has the concept of essentially just free money. Additionally, every month, like a monthly free money thing is more than, like you said before, a $2,000 credit once a year is like whatever, who gives a fuck, right?
Right.
But cumulatively, because that's the thing. But when it's sizable enough to make an impact to possibly change somebody's life trajectory, be like, oh wait, we got an extra $300 from the government. We can have a kid now. That's a bad decision. Now, when it comes to universal basic income, what are your thoughts on UBI right now?
I didn't think that it mattered because we talked about this before. And
right?
I was like, I think this is a good thing. Expansion of arts and blah, 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 blah. I didn't think it made that much of a difference until I saw the unemployment thing. And that's definitely not the only issue. Well, but to say it wasn't an issue is a lie. It was definitely an issue. To give people an extra $600 was a fucking bad idea and made a lot of people say, fuck that, I am not going to work. So... And part of that, again, it's not the only issue, because part of that is they worked shitty jobs before, like their companies suck. There's a whole lot of things that
fast food's still in a bad spot right now.
But the money was definitely a part of it, right? There's a lot of people that went back because their jobs weren't bad enough to, you know what I'm saying?
Word.
But
what I was saying.
Some of the jobs were bad enough that they wouldn't, like you said, fast food and stuff like that. But
And there was new industries that came online too,
Yeah,
like work
I
from
did
home
not-
careers.
I did not think that $1,000 a month would make that big of a difference
But it did.
until I saw the 600, and then I was like, okay,
Oh fuck.
maybe it will. Maybe it will make a big difference, and maybe not necessarily for the better. Because
Word. Because
yeah,
what?
the automation
happen,
thing that I
you know?
did,
That's crazy.
I wasn't sold on before. As like automation will happen as a result of this. I'm like, no, this is the way to combat automation. No,
Automation.
no, automation.
Yes.
Yeah, no, that's not. I don't know that it's a good idea.
I don't think so
anymore.
either. All right, that's definitely. It's like now, especially, I'm like, wow, this is people. Like you give them a chance, man, and that was a letdown.
Yeah,
that was a pretty big letdown. All the people now that are like, oh my god, what do you mean I have to like? What do you mean I have to pay my? I got to start paying student loans again? Yeah, word.
Yes.
That was the thing before. Now we have to do that again. It's fucked up. But it's like you get addicted to that. This is why. Oh my god, this is a good example of like the old school Paul Ryan argument against like the what's the word, the term I'm looking for, the reliance of the state, the welfare state, right? It's like, well, I wasn't a subscriber to the O'Reilly Factor back in the day. I had the mug, I had the whole 9 yards. That was my era of what was going on during those Paul Ryan days and the fights against welfare and all this, and we need to make people more self-reliant and all this stuff. I'm like, that's a really old, like, people don't make that argument anymore about these welfare programs that once you start giving people money, you can't take it away. Yeah. This is the first time in a while that, like, the child tax credit and stuff, that's the first time in a while people have gotten a lot of extra money. Like, it wasn't a lot, $300 a month or whatever, but you could do a lot with it. That's a sizable amount of money. It's not nothing, yes. Right? It's not $5 a month. This is $300 a month, bro. Like, it ain't gonna cover your mortgage, but you could definitely buy a new car. And that's not a good idea, obviously, but like you could. It's sizable. It's the first time we've actually been able to see that. Now imagine if it was 1,000. And then if they had to renege on it, like, guys, this is a really bad decision. Like, we just looked at the numbers. Like, we thought Social Security was going to go broke soon. We're all going to go broke, like, next year. We can't do this anymore.
Yeah, the government giving people money is a bad idea.
Yeah.
Really bad idea. I think I underestimated.
Moral of the story.
The reliance that people would have on it. I just didn't think that people would lean on it that bad. I didn't. I really didn't. I really thought that people would, which seems foolish now, but I really thought more people would consider it, like I said, the way that not that I'm like, oh, I fucking did it so good, but like, I thought more people would consider it the way that I did. We should act like this money doesn't really exist. Surprised there isn't more people who just put it in their savings account and just didn't fucking touch it at all. I'm just gonna wait until something happens. I'm not gonna touch it because I didn't need it before and I don't need it now. But because I have a hard time. And I'm not excluded from this.
Okay.
Thinking that if the $300 makes a difference between like make or break, then there aren't other things that a lot of people could shift in their budget. And I'm not saying everyone, because there are some people that it will. I'm not saying everyone, and I'm not. I am not excluded from that. If I needed $300 extra bucks, there's a lot of shit I could stop buying. I fucking buy cartridges all the time. You know what I'm saying? Welcome to the south of the streets, coming at you every